What is up, the Steam blockchain? Today I want to reply and expand a little bit on a great comment that I saw on the Steam blockchain from Art Opium. And I want to expand a little bit on this great comment he wrote and reply. So I wrote a short reply, but I also want to do a longer reply in video form because I feel that it's one of these topics that you have to expand a little bit more on. So there is this view on the Steam blockchain that self-voting gives the highest ROI. And I would say that that is completely wrong. Trust and relationships is what gives the highest return on investment because you're investing in human brains. And humans are the gadgets on the planet. So obviously investing in brains, it's what's going to give the highest ROI if you empower a person and make them flower in potential. So why does currencies work? Because we trust that it has value and we're willing to buy and sell them. Because we believe in the currency, we believe perhaps in the people behind it. We believe it has value. We're willing to trade it because we feel that it's going to rise in value. We have trust. So it's not about the currency actually. It's all about trust. The offline world, it trusts the fiat currency has value. That's why they're trading it. If trust would be removed, they don't want it anymore. But they're using it because they trust it. So it's never about the currency. It's all about trust and relationships. When I take a look at where I have gotten the most value on the Steam blockchain, it has been from investments that I have been doing in relationships. And many of these things, it's been taking months of work until some relationships gets established. Because I realized early on the Steam blockchain that, well, video is the future, and the more I can leverage video, the more I can build deeper trust. The more people can see from me, the more they can trust if I am real and authentic. The more they can trust, the more they can see me, the more they can make up their own view, right? But the more you show, the more authentic and real you are, there's a high likelihood that you will build up relationships with other humans, and that eventually that's going to flower out into something bigger. If I would just have done self-voting, I wouldn't even be close to getting any results on the Steam blockchain. Yes, you can get a return on investment on self-voting, but compared to trust and relationships, it's nothing. It's like a joke, because I feel that, I mean, oh man, I mean, how do you even calculate the ROI if you know a millionaire? So you can do this like self-vote thing, but if you just knew one millionaire, it has already like 100x compared to self-vote. So to go over this great comment, it said, this economy is not flawed. I agree. It works exactly as it was designed to. I think the problem you're having ideological rather than economic. If you read the white paper closely, you realize the Steam is 100% capitalistic. I mean 100%. That's more capitalism than any other so-called capitalist economy known in the world. In the US economy, we have a fair amount of socialism. Many services are subsidized by the government in order to equalize the playing field. Ned Scott had no such intentions for Steemit. It's 100% either you have money to invest or you don't. I want to add one thing here is, yes, I think it's 100% capitalistic, but I wouldn't say it's as easy as if you don't have money to invest, like you have no chance. That's not really true. There are various leverage aspects. I didn't start off with money in the Steam blockchain. I got some great upvotes after I did some videos uploading to the YouTube. I got some great upvotes, and then I realized, oh, I want to buy into this project. So nobody really has to have money to invest. If they're just real and authentic and work on their content, they're going to get discovered eventually. And there are various aspects, I've talked about this in other videos, there are various aspects of leverage. Connections, relationships, your work, how good you are at leverage that, how good you are at leverage capital, how good you are at leverage your energy, how good you are at leverage your life, how good you are at leverage various people and connect them together. So it all depends how good you are at leverage, basically. But it's not as easy as it's either you have money or, I mean, it sounds a little bit here as if it's like, well, it's only pay to win, but that's not really the case, because we humans, we work in tribes. We have hierarchies. So we see when someone is kind of trying to cheat the system, and we don't like it. So we have seen it on the Steam blockchain when people are going too selfish, too much promotion. People do not like it. The community does not respond well to that. So you can see that the tribe mentality works great, and it auto-regulates itself if something is too unfair. That's what I would say. The more, and then it says, the more money you invest, the more you will make. Sure, that's how it's always been in everything, really. Yes, the more you have, the better you are at leverage money and different things, the more you will gain, of course. The only guarantee that the potential investor has that you get a decent ROI is self-upvote. And this is again the thing that I did not agree with, that self-upvote is nothing compared to real trust and relationships. That pays off in the long run, trust and relationships. You don't see any ROI the first 5 months or 6 months, 7 months. But it starts after a year or 2 or 3. That's when you really see the trust and relationships it starts to flower. So that is what you get the highest ROI on. It's not self-upvoting, because because you have to use the leverage you have to promote other people, or a person doesn't have to it, but if they want like massive long-term success, they have to use massive leverage and push other people up, because if they don't, everything is basically gonna die. It's just everything's gonna be selfish, and no one's gonna do some self-sacrifice or put themselves out there, and the network wouldn't work. It would never work without the leverage aspect, and that's why I enjoy the capitalism way of the Steam blockchain. That is pretty rough in some ways, where either you get discovered or you don't, and it can take months before you get discovered. But you realize that it sort of is better than socialism, where it's kind of snaky. Nobody really knows the power hierarchy. At least on the Steam blockchain, you see how it works, the hierarchy, and it may seem a bit hard in the beginning, but in the long run, it's real empowerment, and that everyone basically can promote their own stuff if they work hard and want to promote something that they put energy into. People are not going to have an issue with someone making some ROI. So long as Ned Scott is driving the ideologically behind the development of the Steam blockchain, this will remain the same. Self-upvoting is at the heart how Steam works, and it's not going away. But it's not an issue. Self-upvoting is not an issue, because that person is not gonna get the highest ROI in the long run. And I wouldn't say that most massive whales self-upvote. I've seen extreme selfless behavior from people with 400,000 Steam or those amounts. I usually see those people, they usually work on other projects, and I would say that it maybe some people with 10,000 SP that do a lot of self-upvoting, because I mean, can you blame them? No. The world, I mean, it's their own stake. They can do what they want. They can do what they want. They have invested. But it's not as easy as just self-upvote and you're gonna be super rich. It doesn't compound that fast. It still takes months, years of investment and sacrifice to make gains on this place. So it's not as if self-upvoting is this magical tool that gives you insane amounts of ROI and that you're gonna triple your money in a few months. It's not really the case anymore. And I would say in the long run it's gonna regulate itself, because the communities, I would say the community work, I would say that in many ways we don't really know what Steam blockchain is going to be, because I feel that people that got in very early, they're probably working on other projects. They're probably going to sell a lot of Steam so they can invest in other projects that they find interesting. And I feel that the new or the big Steam accounts that's going to grow a lot is going to be content creator that came in around 2018 and that is slowly low key is going to build up their accounts, but you're not really going to think that much about it when they grow because it's kind of low key. But I feel that in 2020, 2021, 2022, you're going to see a lot of new accounts up there at the top that are content creator that create daily content and that really values the currency basically. Because in many ways I feel that it might, if a person gets something super easy, they might sell super fast, but someone that has invested years and so much time and energy and love to get something, they're really gonna hold longer. So yeah, again, I think this comment is great. Again, it was from Art Opium, and it was a comment on Kevin Wong. He made a Steemit post, so you can check that out if you want, but I wanted to do a deeper video about this because I really feel that a lot of people can think that the only way is self-upvote, that is the highest ROI. And again, it is it's very nuanced. It's very hard to explain how a person builds up relationships and gets the highest ROI there, because relationships and trust, it happens in a very organic way. I can't really control who enjoys my stuff. I can only focus on making content, trying to make it as good as possible, trying to improve, and just trying to do my best. But it's still going to take months, years before I see gains, basically. But I mean, for the long run, at least right now, and I like this place. I think this is the best blockchain in the world. And in the long run, I feel that a lot of people are gonna be happy that they stayed. Yeah, have an awesome day. Steem blockchain. Bye bye.